Part 1. How to intrigue everyone without saying a word. First impressions are incredibly powerful. According to Leo, you have only about 10 seconds to make a lasting impact. In those few seconds, you can either attract someone's interest or lose it completely. This section of the book is dedicated to helping you master the nonverbal cues that speak volumes before you even say a word. One of the key techniques Londes introduces is the flooding smile. Unlike a quick, superficial smile, the flooding smile is more deliberate and impactful. When you first meet someone, instead of immediately grinning, you pause for a split second. This pause allows you to make eye contact and fully acknowledge the person before your smile gradually spreads across your face. This kind of smile feels more genuine and personalized, making the other person feel truly seen and appreciated. It's the difference between a mechanical reaction and a meaningful connection. Another crucial tool in your nonverbal communication arsenal is what Londes calls sticky eyes. This technique involves holding eye contact just a little longer than usual. When you engage in this way, it's a powerful message that you are genuinely interested in the other person and fully focused on them. It's about making them feel valued and understood, which instantly elevates your presence in their eyes. Consider how politicians, public figures, or even celebrities handle themselves in a room full of people. They use techniques like these to make everyone they interact with feel special and important. For example, when a politician makes a speech and makes eye contact with audience members, those brief moments of connection make people feel like they've been personally acknowledged. Beyond just smiling and eye contact, body language plays a huge role in how you're perceived. Leo's advice is to pay attention to your posture and movements. Standing tall, shoulders back, and maintaining an open stance communicates confidence and approachability. For example, think about the last time you saw someone walk into a room with a slouched posture and avoiding eye contact. They likely seemed less confident and less engaging. On the other hand, someone who walks in with a strong posture and a warm smile automatically commands attention. These techniques work because they tap into deeply ingrained human instincts. We are naturally drawn to people who exude confidence, warmth, and attentiveness. By mastering these subtle cues, you can make a powerful impression on anyone, often without even saying a word. Part 2. How to know what to say. After you say hi. After you've nailed the first impression, the next step is crucial: what you say and how you say it. This section of the book delves into the art of conversation, particularly the initial small talk that can either lay the foundation for a deeper connection or end the interaction prematurely. Londes emphasizes the importance of listening more than speaking. This might sound counterintuitive, but being a good listener actually makes you a better conversationalist. When you actively listen, you're able to pick up on cues that guide the conversation in a direction that's interesting and relevant to the other person. This is where the technique "never the naked city" comes into play. The idea here is to add vivid details when you're speaking, especially when answering common questions like, "Where are you from?" or What do you do? For example, instead of giving a plain, factual answer like, I'm from New York, you could say, I'm from New York, where the streets are alive with music and the skyline lights up the night. This paints a picture in the other person's mind and opens up more avenues for conversation. They might ask about your favorite spots in the city, your experiences, or what you enjoy most about living there. This technique helps you avoid dull, one-word answers and instead creates engaging, memorable conversations. Another key aspect Londas touches on is the importance of showing genuine interest in the other person. A simple way to do this is by asking open-ended questions that encourage them to share more about themselves. For instance, instead of asking, "Did you have a good weekend?" you might ask, "What was the highlight of your weekend?" This invites them to share a specific experience or story, which can lead to a more interesting and dynamic conversation. Londes also highlights the power of positive language. The way you phrase your words can have a significant impact on the tone of the conversation. For example, rather than saying, "I have to go to work tomorrow," you could reframe it as, "I get to work on an exciting project tomorrow." This small shift in wording reflects a more positive attitude, which can make your conversation more enjoyable for both you and the other person. In this section, Londes also covers the importance of body language during conversation. Just as in the first impression, your nonverbal cues continue to play a role in how you're perceived. Nodding your head, maintaining eye contact, and leaning slightly toward the person as they speak are all ways to show that you're engaged and interested. These signals encourage the other person to open up more, making the conversation flow more naturally. Mastering these techniques can turn even the most mundane small talk into a meaningful interaction. By focusing on listening, adding vivid details, and showing genuine interest, you can make a lasting impression and build stronger connections with the people you meet. Part 3. How to Talk Like a VIP. This part of the book is all about speaking with authority and confidence, which is essential whether you're in a business meeting, giving a presentation, or even just engaging in everyday conversations. Leo shares several techniques to help you sound more like a VIP, someone who commands attention and respect. One of the key strategies is the gravitas greeting. This technique involves matching the tone, pace, and demeanor of the person you're speaking with. For instance, if you're meeting someone who speaks slowly and thoughtfully, you should adjust your own speech to match their pace. This mirroring helps to build rapport quickly because it makes the other person feel more comfortable and understood. Think about how great leaders or speakers adjust their communication style depending on their audience. They instinctively know how to connect by matching the energy and tone of those they're engaging with. Another critical point Londas emphasizes is the power of silence. In our fast-paced world, many people feel the need to fill every moment of silence with words, often resorting to filler phrases like you know, or like. However, these fillers can detract from the power of your speech and make you seem less confident. Londas suggests that instead of filling pauses with unnecessary words, you should embrace them. A well-placed pause can actually add weight to your words, making what you say more impactful. For example, think about how a skilled public speaker uses pauses. They're not afraid to let a moment of silence hang in the air because they know it will grab the audience's attention. Londe also discusses the importance of avoiding overused phrases and cliches, which can make your speech seem generic and uninspired. Instead, she encourages using precise language that clearly communicates your point. For instance, instead of saying something vague like, "We need to improve our customer service," you might say, "We need to implement a more efficient system for handling customer inquiries, reducing response times by 50%. This kind of specificity not only demonstrates your expertise, but also makes your communication more compelling and credible. Another technique discussed in this section is avoiding verbal viruses. These are words or phrases that can weaken your speech, such as "I think," "maybe," or "kind of." These qualifiers can make you sound uncertain or hesitant, which undermines your authority. By eliminating these from your vocabulary, you can speak more assertively and leave a stronger impression. For instance, instead of saying, "I think we should consider this option," you could say, "This option will deliver the best results." Londes also touches on the importance of storytelling as a tool for effective communication. People are naturally drawn to stories because they're relatable and memorable, and you can incorporate a relevant story into your conversation. It helps to illustrate your point in a way that facts and figures alone cannot. For example, if you're trying to convince someone of the benefits of a new project, sharing a story about how a similar initiative succeeded in the past can be far more persuasive than simply listing reasons why it should work. By mastering these techniques, you can speak with the kind of authority and confidence that marks you as a VIP, whether in a professional setting or in everyday interactions. These skills will help you communicate more effectively, build stronger connections, and ultimately achieve your goals. Part 4. How to be an insider in any crowd. Feeling like an outsider in a group can be daunting, but Lace provides powerful strategies to help you blend in seamlessly and make meaningful connections no matter where you are. This section focuses on transforming yourself from an outsider into an insider by tapping into the interests and passions of the people around you. One of the standout techniques in this section is bear their hot button. The idea here is to identify what makes the person you're speaking to excited, passionate, or deeply interested. Everyone has topics that ignite their enthusiasm, whether it's their work, a hobby, or a cause they care about. By steering the conversation towards these topics, you not only make the interaction more engaging for them, but also position yourself as someone who understands and shares their interests. For instance, if you're at a social event and find out that someone is passionate about environmental issues, you might bring up recent developments in sustainability or share your own thoughts on how individuals can contribute to environmental protection. This not only makes the conversation more lively, but also helps you to be seen as someone who is part of the in-crowd, someone who gets it. The key is to listen carefully and pick up on cues that reveal what matters most to the other person. Lies also emphasizes the importance of preparation before attending an event or gathering. She suggests doing a bit of homework on the people you're likely to meet. This could involve researching common interests, relevant topics, or even current events that are likely to come up in conversation. For example, if you know you're going to a tech conference, familiarizing yourself with the latest trends in the industry will allow you to contribute meaningfully to discussions. By dropping relevant names, topics, or facts during your conversations, you signal to others that you're knowledgeable and well-prepared, instantly making you more relatable and connected to the group. Another technique Lies highlights is learn their lingo. This involves picking up on the specific language, jargon, or phrases that are commonly used within a particular group or industry. By using the same terminology, you show that you're familiar with their world, which helps to build rapport. For instance, if you're networking with marketing professionals, using terms like customer journey, conversion rate, or brand equity can make you seem more like an insider. Lace also points out that sometimes it's not about leading the conversation, but knowing when to blend in and support the flow of discussion. This means being adaptable and willing to shift gears based on the dynamics of the group. If the conversation moves from work to a shared interest, like sports or travel, being able to engage in that topic shows that you're versatile and can connect on multiple levels. Ultimately, being an insider is about making others feel comfortable around you. It's about demonstrating that you share common ground, whether through interests, knowledge, or simply the ability to have an enjoyable conversation. By mastering these techniques, you can walk into any room and feel confident that you'll be able to connect with people. Part 5. How to sound like your peas in a pod. Creating a strong, immediate bond with someone is crucial for building trust and rapport. This section of the book delves into the art of mirroring and matching the person you're interacting with, which makes them feel understood and connected to you. The goal is to create an environment where the other person feels that you're just like them, leading to a more natural and easygoing relationship. One of the primary techniques Lias discusses is echoing. Echoing involves subtly mimicking the language, tone, and gestures of the person you're speaking with. This doesn't mean copying them in a way that's obvious or unnatural, but rather reflecting their style in a way that feels comfortable and instinctive. For instance, if someone frequently uses certain phrases or speaks in a particular rhythm, you can mirror these elements in your responses. This technique works because it taps into the human tendency to feel more at ease with people who are similar to us. For example, imagine you're in a conversation with someone who says, "I'm really passionate about cooking." A simple yet effective response could be, "It's great to meet someone else who loves experimenting in the kitchen." By using similar words and expressions, you create a sense of shared identity, making the other person feel like you're on the same wavelength. This can be particularly effective in professional settings where building quick rapport is essential, such as in interviews or client meetings. Another technique Lays explores is empathic echo. This involves not just mirroring words, but also showing that you understand and empathize with the emotions behind those words. For instance, if someone is expressing frustration about a challenging project, you might respond with, "It sounds like that's been really tough for you. I can see why you'd feel that way." This shows that you're not just hearing their words, but also understanding their feelings, which deepens the connection between you. Lace also highlights the importance of pacing and leading. This technique involves first matching the other person's pace and style of communication, and then gradually leading the conversation in the direction you want it to go. For example, if someone is speaking quickly and energetically, you might start by matching their speed and enthusiasm. Once rapport is established, you can then slowly introduce your own ideas or guide the conversation toward topics that are more relevant to your goals. The idea of being peas in a pod extends beyond just verbal communication. Body language plays a crucial role as well. Lias suggests that by subtly matching the other person's posture, gestures, and even facial expressions, you create a non-verbal sense of alignment. For instance, if the person you're speaking with leans forward slightly, you might do the same. This mirroring effect makes the other person feel more at ease and connected to you, even if they aren't consciously aware of it. These techniques are powerful because they operate on a subconscious level. People naturally feel more comfortable and trusting around those who seem to be similar to them. By mastering these subtle forms of mirroring and matching, you can create strong connections quickly and effectively. Part 6. How to differentiate the power of praise from the folly of flattery. Giving compliments can be a double-edged sword. Done correctly, they can strengthen relationships and make others feel valued. But if they come across as insincere or over the top, they can have the opposite effect, making you seem manipulative or untrustworthy. In this section, Lias dives into the nuances of praise, showing how to use it effectively without falling into the trap of empty flattery. One of the key concepts Lias introduces is the idea of killer compliments. These are compliments that are specific, sincere, and impactful. Unlike generic compliments that can feel shallow, like simply saying, "You're smart," a killer compliment is one that shows you've paid attention to the details and genuinely appreciate something unique about the person. For example, instead of saying, "You did a great job," you might say, "The way you handled that difficult client with such grace and patience was truly impressive." This not only makes the compliment feel more genuine, but also shows that you're observant and thoughtful. Killer compliments are powerful because they go beyond the surface and touch on something meaningful. When someone receives a specific compliment about their skills, character, or actions, it resonates with them on a deeper level. It's a way of saying, "I see you, I appreciate you, and I value what you bring to the table." This kind of recognition can be incredibly motivating and can strengthen your relationship with the person. Lias also warns against the dangers of empty flattery. Flattery, unlike genuine praise, often comes across as insincere because it's either too vague or too excessive. For example, telling someone, "You're the best person I've ever met," without any context or evidence to back it up, can sound disingenuous. and may make the person question your motives. People are generally good at detecting when a compliment is not authentic, and rather than building a connection, it can create a barrier of mistrust. Another technique Lias discusses is the undercover compliment. This is when you compliment someone indirectly, often by telling a third party about the person's strengths in a way that you know will get back to them. For instance, if you're talking to a colleague and mention how impressed you were with another team member's recent work, the word is likely to get back to that person, enhancing your relationship with them. This approach can be particularly effective in professional settings where direct praise might feel awkward or out of place. Timing is also crucial when it comes to giving compliments. Lies suggests that the best time to give a compliment is when it's unexpected but relevant. Compliments given during or immediately after an achievement can feel more genuine because they're tied to a specific event or action. For instance, complimenting someone right after they've delivered a great presentation makes the praise feel timely and earned, as opposed to randomly complimenting them without any clear reason. In professional settings, Lays advises being especially mindful of the balance between praise and criticism. A well-timed compliment can soften the blow of constructive criticism, making it easier for the person to accept feedback. For example, starting with, "You did a great job on this part. Here's where we can make improvements," ensures that the person feels appreciated before addressing areas for growth. By mastering the art of genuine praise, you can make others feel valued and respected, which in turn strengthens your relationships, builds trust, and enhances your influence. These techniques help you navigate the delicate balance between being supportive and being perceived as overly flattering, ensuring that your compliments are always well received. Part 7. How to dial their hearts. Even in our increasingly digital world, phone communication remains a crucial part of personal and professional relationships. Unlike emails or texts, a phone call adds the element of voice, which can convey emotions, nuances, and subtleties that written communication simply cannot. Lias understands the importance of making phone calls more engaging and personal, and she provides several strategies to help you make every call count. One of the key techniques Lias introduces is the human magnetism response. This involves carefully matching the tone, pace, and emotion of the person on the other end of the line to create a more personal and connected conversation. The goal is to make the person feel understood and comfortable, which can significantly enhance the quality of the interaction. For example, if the person you're speaking with sounds stressed or anxious, you can lower your voice and speak more slowly and calmly. This not only helps to soothe them, but also demonstrates that you're tuned into their emotional state and are responding accordingly. This technique is particularly effective in customer service roles or any situation where you need to de-escalate tension. For instance, if a client calls you upset about an issue, mirroring their tone initially and then gradually leading the conversation towards a calmer, more solution-focused discussion can help diffuse their frustration. By aligning your vocal cues with theirs, you create a subconscious connection, making them more receptive to your message. Another important aspect of effective phone communication is being mindful of how you begin the conversation. Lias suggests starting with a warm and enthusiastic greeting, which sets a positive tone for the rest of the call. For example, instead of a flat, "Hello," you might say, "Hi. It's great to hear from you," in an upbeat tone. This immediately makes the other person feel welcomed and valued, which can be particularly important in professional settings or first impressions. Lies also advises against rushing through phone conversations. While it might be tempting to get straight to the point, taking a few extra moments to ask how the person is doing or to exchange pleasantries can make the conversation feel more personal and less transactional. For instance, starting with, "How's your day going so far?" before diving into the main topic can create a more relaxed and friendly atmosphere, which is more conducive to building rapport. Another technique Lace recommends is verbal judo. This involves gently redirecting negative or confrontational comments into more positive or neutral territory. For example, if someone says, "This issue has been a disaster," you might respond with, "I can see how frustrating this must be, but I'm confident we can work together to find a solution." This approach acknowledges the other person's feelings without reinforcing negativity, helping to steer the conversation in a more constructive direction. Lias also emphasizes the importance of leaving a memorable voicemail message. In a world where voicemails are often ignored or deleted, making yours stand out can make a significant difference. She suggests being clear, concise, and enthusiastic, and ensuring that your tone conveys the message you want to leave. For example, instead of a monotonous, "This is John, call me back," you might say, "Hi, this is John. I have some exciting updates I'd love to share with you when you have a moment. Looking forward to connecting soon." This not only increases the likelihood of getting a return call, but also leaves a positive impression. Finally, Lays discusses the power of timing. Knowing when to call can be just as important as how you conduct the call. For example, calling someone right after lunch, when they're likely to be more relaxed, can lead to a more productive conversation than calling first thing in the morning when they're swamped with tasks. Being mindful of the other person's schedule and mood can enhance your chances of having a successful interaction. By mastering these techniques, you can turn routine phone calls into powerful tools for building connections. Whether in business or in your personal life, a well-handled phone conversation can leave a lasting positive impression and can be the key to strengthening relationships. Before engaging them in conversation, similarly, knowing when to exit a conversation gracefully is just as important as knowing how to start one. Londas recommends having a polite exit line ready, such as, "It's been great talking with you. I'm going to grab a drink, but let's catch up later." Finally, Londas talks about the importance of following up after the event. Whether it's a quick email, a text, or a LinkedIn connection, taking the time to reach out to people you've met ensures that the connection doesn't end when the event does. For example, sending a message like, "It was great meeting you at the event last night. I enjoyed our conversation about topic, and I'd love to continue it sometime," helps solidify the relationship and opens the door for future interactions. By applying these techniques, you can navigate any social event with ease, making meaningful connections and leaving a lasting impression on everyone you meet. Whether you're at a business conference, a casual party, or a formal gathering, these strategies will help you stand out and build a network of valuable relationships. Part 9. How to break the most treacherous glass ceiling of all. In this final section, Lais addresses some of the most challenging aspects of social interaction, such as dealing with difficult people, overcoming social barriers, and navigating high-stakes situations. The techniques in this section are designed to help you maintain your composure, assert yourself effectively, and ultimately achieve your goals, even in the most challenging environments. One of the key techniques Lais introduces is the broken record. This involves calmly and persistently repeating your point or request until it is acknowledged. The idea is to stay firm and focused on your goal without getting sidetracked by deflections or distractions. For example, if you're negotiating a deal and the other party keeps avoiding your key term, you would calmly restate it each time until they address it directly. This technique is particularly effective in situations where the other person might be trying to wear you down or push you into a decision before you're ready. The broken record is not about being confrontational. Rather, it's about being consistent and unwavering in your communication. By calmly repeating your point, you make it clear that you are serious and that this issue is important to you. Over time, this persistence can wear down resistance and lead to a more favorable outcome. This approach is useful not only in negotiations, but also in any situation where you need to assert your position firmly, such as in workplace discussions, customer service disputes, or even personal disagreements. Londas also discusses the importance of handling criticism gracefully. In any social or professional setting, you're likely to encounter situations where you're critiqued or challenged. Londas suggests a technique called the empathetic probe, where you acknowledge the other person's perspective and ask for more information before responding. For instance, if someone criticizes your work, you might say, "I understand where you're coming from. Can you tell me more about what specifically didn't work for you?" This approach not only diffuses tension, but also shows that you're open to constructive feedback, which can help turn a potentially negative interaction into a productive one. Londas also explores the concept of the perfect apology. There will be times when you make a mistake or offend someone, whether intentionally or not. Knowing how to apologize effectively is crucial for repairing relationships and maintaining your reputation. Lais suggests that a perfect apology includes 3 key elements: acknowledging the mistake, expressing genuine remorse, and offering a solution or way to make amends. For example, if you missed an important deadline, a perfect apology might sound like, "I realize I missed the deadline, and I'm truly sorry for the inconvenience this has caused. I've already started working on a solution, and I'll make sure it's completed as soon as possible." This kind of apology not only addresses the issue, but also shows that you're taking responsibility and are committed to resolving it. Finally, Lais tackles the concept of glass ceiling breakers. These are strategies for overcoming the invisible barriers that can prevent you from advancing in your career or social standing. She encourages readers to be proactive in seeking out mentors, building a strong network, and continuously improving their skills. For instance, if you feel like you're being overlooked for promotions, Lias suggests finding a mentor within your organization who can provide guidance and advocate for you. Additionally, she recommends taking on high-visibility projects that demonstrate your capabilities and help you stand out. Londes also emphasizes the importance of self-confidence in breaking through the glass ceiling. This includes believing in your own value, advocating for yourself when necessary, and not being afraid to take risks. For example, if you're in a meeting and have a great idea, don't hesitate to speak up and share it, even if you're the junior person in the room. By consistently demonstrating your value and expertise, you can gradually overcome the barriers that might be holding you back. By mastering these techniques, you're not just learning how to talk to anyone, you're learning how to leave a lasting impression, build genuine connections, and navigate social situations with confidence and ease. Whether it's in your personal life or professional career, these tips can transform the way you interact with others, helping you to achieve your goals and make the most out of every encounter. Did you like the summary? Click the like button now to support our channel and click subscribe if you want to get notified each time we post a new book summary.